Google Sites allows you to quickly and easily create a website for you and your students. To get to Google Sites, you go to the postage stamp in the upper right-hand corner from either your Mail or your Drive, or even from being logged into Chrome. You should then see an option for Google Sites. If you don't see it listed, click on More. If again you don't see it listed, click on Even More from Google. Scroll down all the way to Home and Office, and you should see Google Sites listed as one of the options. When you click on Sites, you may be asked to re-enter your password. You're then brought to the Google Sites dashboard. If you'd like to create a site, on the left-hand side, you click on Create. You'll be brought to a page where you're shown a couple of different options for templates. You can use a blank template, or you can browse the gallery for more. I'm going to click Browse the Gallery for more, and I'll be brought to loads and loads of templates that I can apply to my site. I'm going to click on Schools and Education, and I'll see a variety of sites that have been created specifically for use in the education world. I'm going to choose the Classroom Corkboard. It'll give me a preview of what the site looks like, and then I'm going to click Select. The next thing I need to do is provide my site with a name. As you type, Google is automatically trying to create a URL for your site, which you'll see in the box below. I would recommend using something very simple, like your first initial, last name, for your site address. You can also select a theme and look at more options, but we're going to leave it as is. Next, you'll be asked to enter a code. I then click Create. Unfortunately, the URL that I'm trying to use has already been chosen by somebody. At this point, I should try to make adjustments to see which URL is available. You'll probably have less difficulty if you're using a Google Apps for Education account, because those URLs get linked directly to your school. Again, I'm going to create site. Once my site is created, I'll be brought to the site. You'll notice, because you used a template, that it's pre-populated with tons and tons of things. We'll try to talk about each of these things in just a moment. You'll notice at the top, and this appears on every page of your site, you have a few options. The pencil allows you to edit what's on the current page. The page with a plus sign allows you to add a page. And then you have a gear, which gives you more options. Under the gear menu, you have revision history, subscribe to page changes, page settings, print page, copy page, delete page. You can't delete this particular page because it's the home page. Preview the page as a viewer, look at page templates, save as page template, change the page template, site actions, subscribe to site changes, edit site layout, manage site, sharing and permissions, sites help, and report an issue. Each of these tools will be valuable to you as you begin to use Google Sites in your classroom. I'd like to add some description to my site. The first thing I'm going to do is click on my gear and click on Manage Site. Under the Manage Site menu, there are many things you can do. You can create a site notice, which is a pop-up message that will be shown to your site visitors, and you can create a site description. You can also check whether your site contains mature content or not. Hopefully the site you're creating for your students will not. You can change the landing page, which is the default page that visitors see when they get to your site. You can check on your site storage. You can copy your site, publish it as a template, or delete the entire site. And the rest of these things aren't really going to be of much use to you in the classroom. You can choose a default site language. For example, if you teach a foreign language, you may wish to change the language of your site. And you can check whether you want your site to automatically adjust for mobile phones. Because many of your students will probably be accessing your site from their mobile phone, I'd highly recommend checking this box. On the left-hand side, you'll see a variety of options. Each of these options allows you more functionality on your site, but because we're just getting started, we'll go back to editing our site. I want to make sure I save any changes that I've made, and then I click on Mrs. Mersand's site to go back to my site. I'm now looking at my home page. Because I've chosen a template, like I said, it is pre-populated with information. Right now, the pages in my site contain the home page, an activities page, which also includes a calendar, a contacts page, a frequently asked questions page, a photo gallery, and stuff of interest, which happens to be an announcements page renamed. Whichever site you choose, you're bound to find pages on it that you don't wish to use in your classroom. If you want to delete a page, it's quite simple. Navigate to the page you wish to delete. For example, this frequently asked questions page. Click on your gear in the upper right-hand corner and click on Delete Page. You'll be prompted and asked whether you truly mean to delete it. Click Delete again. I'm going to continue to go through and find pages that I don't wish to have on my site. Once again, the gear and Delete Page will allow me to delete pages. When I'm ready to start customizing the content on the pages I've kept, I click on the pencil located in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. This will allow me to edit my pages. You'll notice an editing bar pops up that's very similar to all of the other Google tools. And when I click on the page, it's now editable. I can add text to my page, and I can format it using font faces, font sizes, bold, italics, and underline. Be very careful about using underline on web pages because that indicates a link. I can change my text color. I can change the background color behind my text. I can add a link. I can add a numbered list, a bulleted list, decrease or increase the indent, align left, center, and right, and clear all formatting from my page. This final button allows you to edit the HTML, but if you're unfamiliar with HTML, I'd recommend leaving it alone. You'll notice on my page that the template includes an image. I'm going to delete that template. The next things on my page are a link to a calendar and a link to recent announcements. If I wanted to read how to replace this calendar, I could, but I'm going to actually delete this, and I'm going to delete the calendar. You'll notice as I'm deleting different parts of the page, when I click on them, there's an X, and that removes that element from the page. I now have only recent announcements, and I'd actually like to move this item where the calendar was. So I'm clicking and dragging, and now my recent announcements will appear on the left-hand side of my page. If I wanted to add an image back where I took this image out, I would go to Insert, Image, and I can choose to upload an image or use an image from a URL. I'm going to upload an image from my desktop. I can then click on the image and click OK. Once my image has been inserted, I'm brought to this edit menu that allows me to align it left, right, or center, make it small, medium, large, or original size, and allow text wrapping or don't allow text wrapping. I'm going to turn my text wrapping on, and then I'm going to click off the image. If at any time I decide I'd like to move my image, I click on it and I can change my alignment. The next thing I'd like to do is add links to my page. There are many ways to do this and many reasons to use the different ways. Just like in all of the other Google tools, when I'm ready to make a link, I can highlight my word, click on link, and then I have a couple of options. The first option that it defaults to is a sites page. This will allow you to link to different pages within your site. The next option is to link to a web address. The third option is to link to a scripts. Whenever I'm going to send my users to a link that's not within my site, I always open the link in a new window. Then I click OK. You'll now see that the word Google is a link. You can double check your link by going to the link. You can change it, or you can remove the link altogether. Another way to add a link to your page is to go to Insert, Link, and again, you have the same options. The text to display is the word that will appear as the link. Again, if I'm linking outside of my page, I open the link in a new window and click OK. I now see that I have two links on my page, one to Google and one to Yahoo. When I'm done editing my page, I want to click on Save in the upper right hand corner, and I'll be brought back to my page. You can now see that it reflects all of the edits that I've made, including my new image, the removal of the calendar, and the two links that I created. On the left hand side, you may find built-in navigation for your site. Because everybody may be working with a different template, it's a little difficult to explain how to do things with your navigation, but I'll do my best. If I'd like to update my navigation on the left-hand side, for example, I'd like to take out this 1292 days since next event and this certification from Over the Top Design. I click on my gear, I click on Edit Site Layout, and you'll see I have a new toolbar. I can enable or disable the header, I can add horizontal navigation, I can turn on or off that sidebar navigation, I can create a custom footer, I can change my site width, but more importantly, I can click on that navigation bar and make changes to it. Each item in the navigation is a separate item. If I'd like to remove it, I simply click the X. It asks me, are you sure you want to delete this? I click OK. I'm going to do the same thing for my countdown. Hover over, click on the X, and click OK. The last thing left is my navigation bar. Currently, this site is defaulted to add every page that's been created to the navigation. If I ever want to add something to that navigation bar, I click on it. You'll see right now it automatically organizes your navigation. You can change the title of the navigation bar. You can decide the level of pages to show, and you can include a link to things like the sitemap or recent site activity. Click OK, and you'll see that the navigation bar now has the title Navigation, and I have a sitemap. To add other pages to my site navigation, I need to turn off the automatically organize my navigation. This will also allow me to rearrange the pages as they appear on the navigation. It gives me a little more control over what appears. When I've turned off my automatic navigation, I'll see only my home page. To add a page, I click Add Page. I'll then be brought to a list of all of the pages that are available to me, and I can add them individually. Once I've added all the pages I want to my navigation, I can reorder them using the arrows on the right-hand side. When I'm clicked on a page and I click the up arrow, it moves up in importance, down in importance. I may want to indent it to have it shown under activities. So now, when I go back to my site navigation, by clicking OK, you'll see that my navigation bar now only includes those pages that I clicked on. At any time, you can click on that navigation bar turn back on your automatic organization and it will put all pages back in that navigation bar. The one problem with doing this is that it does organize them alphabetically. Click OK. And now all of my pages are listed again. When I'm done making edits to my navigation bar, I click Closed, and it brings me back to edit my site. I clicked on my activities page, and once again, I would like to make this page mine. One thing that I don't like about Google Sites is at the bottom here, you see this option to add files and add comments. I like to turn these things off. To do that, I go to my gear icon and I click on Page Settings. You'll see here you have options to show the page title and sublinks, allow attachments, and allow comments. I turn both of these off. You can give the page a description, and you can change the URL that people use to get to it. If I've made any changes, I make sure I click Save. If you want to add a new page to your site, you do that by clicking on this new page icon with a plus sign. When I click on it, I'm asked to name my page. The next option asks me which template I'd like to use. There are 4 templates readily available to you in Google Sites. They are Web Page, Announcements, File Cabinet, and List. A web page is similar to that home page we were editing. An Announcements page allows you to create new posts but keep them static on a page, and I'll explain that in a minute. Your File Cabinet is simply a page to hold files that you can upload, and a List allows you to create a list. I'm going to create a file cabinet to show you what one looks like. I have the option to put it at the top level or put it under another page or choose a different location entirely. I'm going to leave it at the top level and click Create. My new page has been created, and with a file page you're able to add files, links, documents from your drive, move items to new folders, delete items, and subscribe to changes. You might find this type of page useful if you have handouts that you give students and you can't share them via Google Drive. To add a file, you would click on the Add File, choose the file to add, and you'll notice it uploads. That file now appears for users of my page to click on. They can view it or they can download it. Similarly, you can add links and once again, documents from your drive. If at any time I'd like to remove documents, I simply place a check mark and click Delete. Once again, I want to turn off this comments section. To do that, I click my gear, my page settings, and uncheck Allow Comments. I then click Save. I'm going to go to the Stuff of Interest page because this is a built-in announcements page. On this page, you'll notice a couple of things. They've added 2 sample posts that you can edit and a button to create a new post. One of the problems with the sample posts that they've created is that they'll still show the post date of the time the template was created, which was February 2010. If I'd like to delete a post, I click on the title of it, I'm brought to the page for that post, I click on the gear icon, and I delete the page. It also asks if I'd like to delete the images, and I click Delete. I'm going to do the same thing for this another post. Click on it, gear, delete page, delete. And my announcements page is now empty. To create a new post, I click on the New Post button, and what this is essentially doing is creating a mini web page that will then be linked to the announcements area. I need to give my post a title, and I click on Save. Because of the way this page is set up, Google automatically adds that message to my announcements on the left-hand side. I'm also going to go back to my home page, because that gadget, stuff of interest, has been automatically updated. Gadgets like this are a way to add more functionality to your website, but since it's a basic course, I won't be covering them. You're more than welcome to explore them on your own. Don't forget to check out the Google Sites help pages. The last step, when you're ready to publish your website, is to come up here to the right-hand corner to the blue Share button. When I click on Share, I have a couple of different options. First of all, the link to share appears. This is the URL of my website, which I'll need to share with anybody who I'd like to have visit my page. Currently, my page is set to public on the web. I can change that. I can make it anyone with the link, so only people who have the link can see it, and I can share it only with specific people. I'm going to leave my page public on the web, so I'm going to click Cancel. The other option, just like in all Google products, is that I can share editing privileges with other people. That way, if more than one person shares my website, everyone can make edits. This might come in handy for things like collaborative classrooms or department pages. Now that I'm sure my site is public to the web, I'm going to share this URL by highlighting it and copying it, and then I can paste it into a new browser window to see what it looks like.